Good morning, afternoon, and evening, when and where you're listening. I am Dr. Vogue, and welcome back to Site Exodus. In today's episode, we'll be covering a classic creature of the Foundation, a rather peculiar, sallow humanoid that can only be described as dangerously antisocial, whose behavior puts a whole new meaning to the term face of death. Listeners' discretion is advised. Now, without further ado, this is SCP-096. Designation, the Shy Guy. Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-096 is to be contained in its cell, an approximately 5 by 5 by 5 meter airtight steel cube at all times. Weekly checks for any and all damages, cracks, or holes are to be mandatory. Any and all optical devices or video surveillance of any kind are prohibited inside SCP-096's cell. On-site personnel are trained to strictly operate pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors only to ensure SCP-096's presence inside the cell 24/7. Any and all photos, videos, or recordings of SCP-096's likeness are to be strategically confiscated and are strictly forbidden without approval from Dr. Gears and members of the O5 Council. Description: SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 7 foot 10 inches in height. Subject appears gaunt, emaciated, having little muscle mass, with preliminary studies and analysis of SCP-096's bodily condition suggesting that of malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 4 foot 9 inches each. Skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, with no evidence of body hair. SCP-096's jaw can stretch, opening roughly 4 times the average of any typical human. Other facial features remain similar to most humans, with the exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It is unknown as to whether or not SCP-096 is blind. It shows no signs of any higher brain functions and is not considered to be sapient. SCP-096 is normally quite docile, sensors within its cell indicating it spends most of its days pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views SCP-096's face, whether it be in person, a video recording, or even simple photographs, will then trigger the subject into entering a state of considerable emotional distress. SCP-096 begins covering its own face with its hands, followed by screaming, weeping, and babbling incoherently. Then, at approximately 1 to 2 minutes after initial viewing, SCP-096 will break containment, begin dashing and running a straight course to whomever viewed its face. Said person will now be referred to as SCP-096-1. Documented speeds have varied, averaging anywhere from 21 to 62 miles per hour, though some reports say faster, and would seem dependent on the distance from 096-1. At our current level of understanding, no known material or method can impede SCP-096's progress. The actual position of 096-1 does not seem to affect SCP-096's response, be it below the ocean's depths or miles up in the sky. It seems to have an innate sense of 096-1's pinpoint location. Strangely enough, any drawn or painted artistic depictions of SCP-096 have no effect, leading to some mitigation and prevention of possible future 096-1 instances. Upon arrival at 096-1's location, SCP-096 will proceed to kill and destroy 096-1 in its entirety. 100% of cases have left no traces of 096-1 victims. Once its wrathful state is finished, SCP-096 will then sit for several minutes before regaining composure, becoming docile once more. It will then attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat, deep in the Himalayan mountains. due to high risks of mass chain reaction events that include but are not limited to the breach of Foundation secrecy and substantial loss of civilian life. Retrieval of SCP-096 should be considered Alpha-level priority. Incident Report. Amongst many of the redactions in the SCP-096's file, a lone audio log was found, that of an interview conducted by Foundation scientist Dr. Dan, detailing the events from Retrieval Incident 096-1-A from the accounts of a Captain Mills, survivor and retired former commander of Retrieval Team Zulu 9A. Its contents reads as followed, starting from the perspective of Captain Mills.
It always sucks ass to get nailed with retrieval duty. You have no idea what the damn thing is capable of besides what jacked up information the field techs can scrape up, and you're lucky if they even tell you the whole story. They told us to bag and tag, didn't say jack shit about not looking at the damn thing.
Could you describe the mission, please?
Yeah, sorry. We had 2 choppers, one with my team and one on backup with Zulu 9B and Dr. Leeward. We spotted the target about 2 clicks north of our patrol path. I'm guessing he wasn't facing our direction, else he would have taken us out then and there.
Your report says SCP-096 didn't react to the cold. It was negative 40 degrees Celsius.
Actually, it was about negative 37, and yes, it was stark nude and didn't shiver one bit. Anyways, we landed, approached the target, and Corporal Marsh got ready to bag it. That's when Dr. Leeward called. I turned to answer it, and that must have been what saved my ass. The target must have turned, and my whole squad saw it.
That's when SCP-096 entered an agitated emotional state?
Correct. Sorry. Spaced out there for a second.
That's quite all right.
Sure, well, I never saw its face. My squad did, and they fucking paid out the ass for it.
Could you describe it a little more, please?
Yeah. It started screaming at us and crying. Not animal roaring, though. It sounded exactly like a person. Real fucking creepy. We started firing when it picked up Corporal Marsh and ripped off his leg. God. The way he screamed. Fuck me. We were blowing chunks out of the damn thing, round after round. Didn't do jack shit. I almost lost it when it started taking bites off Marsh.
That's when you ordered the use of an AT-4 HEDT launcher?
An anti-tank gun. Started carrying it ever since SCP-682 got loose. I've seen them shells tear through tanks like tissue paper. Did the same thing to the target.
There was significant damage to SCP-096?
It didn't even fucking flinch. It kept tearing through my men, but with half of its torso gone.
But it was taking damage.
If it was, it wasn't showing it. It must have lost all its organs, all its blood, but it didn't acknowledge any of it. Its bone structure wasn't hurt at all, though. It just kept tearing my squad apart.
So no actual structural damage. How many rounds would you say were fired at SCP-096?
At the least, 1,000. Our door gunner kept his Gal 19 on it for at least 20 seconds. 20 fucking seconds. That's 650 caliber rounds pumped into that thing. Might as well have been spitting at it.
This would be when Zulu 9B arrived?
Yeah, and my squad was gone. Zulu 9B managed to get the bag over its head and it just sat down. We got it into the chopper and got it back on site. I don't know how I never saw its face. Maybe God or Buddha or whoever thought I should live. The sick bastard.
We have obtained an artist's depiction of SCP-096's face. Would you like to view it?
After hearing that thing screams, and the screams of my men, I don't think I want to put a face to what I heard. No, just no.
All right. I believe we are done here. Thank you, Captain. Let this be set on record that I am formally requesting SCP-096 be terminated as soon as possible.
In summary, what have we learned? SCP-096, while mostly harmless, poses an immense physical threat to the entire global population if allowed to roam free, giving way to many more potential instances like 096-1-A, or even much worse massive chain reaction events, which could kill hundreds, thousands, or perhaps even millions if given enough time. So it is with great interest to the Foundation, in any attempt to preserve human life, to either neutralize SCP-096 or keep it permanently contained in its cell. That is all we have for today. If you enjoyed today's file reading, then please like and subscribe, and keep your notification bell on. Next episode, don't fall ill, else it may spell your doom, as we cover SCP-049, otherwise known as the Plague Doctor. See you next broadcast.